Welcome to class. My name is Gladys. I'm your pattern drafting teacher. Today, you'll be learning how to draft a baby girl pinafore dress. This dress can actually be worn by adults and there are different variations. But in this tutorial, focus will be on kids. And I'll be leaving the measurements for this draft in the description below. So do well to check the description for the measurements. Now let's go straight to the draft. To begin, measure and mark 1 inch below the top edge of your pattern paper, and this is the top line and also the shoulder line of the draft. And it is on that point all measurement begins. On that top line, I'll be marking shoulder to waist measurement. The shoulder to waist measurement of this draft is 10 inches, but the pinafore is going to have a 2 inches band. I'll be subtracting that from the measurement. That is, I'll be taking away 2 inches from the actual length to waist measurements, and I'll be left with 8 inches. So instead of 10 inches, I'll be marking 8 inches. On that top line, I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches. This is the waist level of the draft. Next, I'll be marking the shoulder length. The shoulder length for this draft is 10 inches and half of that is 5 inches. So on the top line, which represents the shoulder line, I'll be marking 5 inches. And on that point, I'll drop the shoulder slant half an inch. And after which, I'll just quickly mark the neck depth and the neck width. The front neck width is 2 inches. And the neck depth is 2 1/4 inches. Having marked that, I'll be connecting the neck curve, and here is the front neck curve, 2 inches by 2 1/4 inches. The next thing is to roll the shoulder slant from the neck point to the point below the shoulder line marked earlier, and this is the shoulder slant of the draft. It's a very simple draft, and on that shoulder slant, I'll be marking the actual shoulder length of the pinafore. The actual shoulder length is 2 inches, so along the shoulder slant, here I'm marking 2 inches. On the waistline, the pinafore width on the waist is 7 inches, and half of that will be used for the draft. Half of 7 inches is 3.5 inches. So on that waistline, I'll be marking 3.5 inches. After marking 3.5 inches, rule a straight line to connect the point from the shoulder slant above to the waist measurement. So here I have the center front pattern of the pinafore dress. I'll be using this front pattern to draft the back, since the difference between the back and the front is not much. But then I'll cut it out, transfer it to fabric before cutting out the back. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be using a piece of fabric. So this is the right side, and here I have the wrong side. So I'll be placing it on fold with the wrong side facing up, and after that I'll place my pattern on it, mark the width of the pattern round the fabric, and then add ½ inch sewing allowances on the neck area, on the shoulder area, and also on the side. And after that, even on the hem, I will also mark ½ inch for joining the band to the fabric, and after which I'll cut out the pattern. So after cutting out, this is the center front of the pinafore dress. So I'll be setting this aside and then cut out the back. We'll be cutting 2 pieces of the back, especially if your design is having a zipper at the back. There are different variations. You could decide to have a keyhole. So when you are cutting with a keyhole, there wouldn't be any need to add zipper allowance. But in this tutorial, I'll be using zipper. So after placing my fabric on fold, I went ahead and marked my 1 inch zipper allowance. And after that, I placed the pattern I made earlier on it. This is the front pattern. Remember, there will be some modifications, and the only modification here is the neckline. The back neckline is actually 2 inches by ½ inch. Remember, the front neckline was 2 inches by 2 1/4 inches. So here I've made a straight line to the neck point, and on that straight line I'll be marking the back neck depth ½ inch. So after marking that, I'll make a gentle curve to connect the back neck width, taking it straight out to the zipper allowance edge. So with this, I'll go ahead and add half-inch sewing allowances and then cut out the back pattern. Remember, the back neckline is half-inch. Take care not to cut it same as front neckline. So I'll be cutting the pattern into two with the zipper running through at the middle. So with this, I have the back pattern cut out as well. At this point, I'll go ahead and cut lining pieces for both the front and the back. So here is the front that was cut earlier. Here is the back. So I'll be cutting lining for both. Here I have cut out the lining pieces for each of the fabric. Actually, I'm using the same fabric as lining pieces. This is not compulsory. You could also use your normal lining when cutting yours. Here I have the two back pieces and here is the front that was cut on fold. I'm also going to turn the front with the same fabric. Do iron interfacing on the make fabric, especially at the front, or you could do that for all the fabric pieces, but the front, when sewing yours, iron stay interfacing or tissue stay interfacing on it. So but here I'll just be sewing this for the purpose of tutorial. So next, I'll take this to my sewing machine and turn the neckline and then turn the side as well, leaving only the shoulder and the waist area. So I'll do the same on the fabric. I'll do the same on the back fabric pieces as well. And after which, we come back to see how we fix the band on it. I'm back from the sewing machine. So after turning the neckline with the lining pieces, I went ahead to close the side seams, both on the front and on the back fabric pieces. After closing the side, I took everything to the ironing table and gave them a good press with my steam iron. So and here, this is what I have. So the back and front are all turned with the same fabric as the lining. Like I said, you could decide to use the normal lining when sewing yours. So I brought it back to show you how to join the shoulder, because that's the next stage right now. So just watch. To join the shoulders, here I have the front pieces and one of the back pieces. So I'll be placing them such that the neckline are facing the same direction. This is the back neckline, this is the front neckline, and here are the shoulders. So I'll be matching the shoulders. So on this shoulder, I'll open up the front and push it in my two fingers, and with that, I'll bring out one of the back pieces. So because I'm trying to join the shoulder, I'll make sure it doesn't turn. So while doing this, I still check on the right side to make sure the shoulder is matching properly with the shoulder of the front fabric pieces. Let me pull it out so that you can see it well. So this is how it looks, and then here I have fixed the first part. So for the second part, I'll be repeating the same. Simply put my two fingers in from the front and then push the back shoulder on it and turn it out. After turning it out, I ensure that it is well placed. So you could actually use the tip of your scissors to make sure that this aligns properly. It helps so that you do not have, so that it will balance up well. So after aligning that, so this is the two shoulders, take it to the sewing machine and sew on the sewing allowance. So as you can see, I have successfully joined the both shoulders. Next, I'll be showing you how to attach the band, that is the waistband, joining the lower part with the upper part. So I'll be showing you how to join that next. This is the waistband. The band is measuring round waist measurement plus 3 inches. The round waist measurement is 22 inches, but what I have here is 25 inches. I added 1 inch ease to the waist because these are kids and they are still growing, and added 2 inches zipper allowance, that is 1 inch on both edge. Let's fix the first band. So here is the first band. What I'll do now is to fix the back pieces on it. So I'm just checking the wrong side and the right side. So this is the right side. So I'll be placing the back right side to the outer edge of the band. So the back right side to the outer edge of the band. And then the other edge of the back, I'll also place it on the other edge of the band. So I'll be fixing the back on edges of the back. I will do this before attaching the front. There's a reason for that, so that I'll have it balanced on the back. So after doing this, I'll just take it to the sewing machine and sew from that outer edge to the back. So the band is sewn on the back pieces already. So the next thing is to put the right side and then fold the band into two to get the midpoint, so that the midpoint of the band and the center front pattern will align. So I'll get the midpoint. Here is the midpoint of the band. Ensure that both edges match properly, and then notch on that center front of the band. Also bring the front pattern, fold into two and notch as well. We are just trying to ensure that this pinafore stays correctly on the band without having to bend or having to shift. So after that, I'll place the notches on each other and sew. So this is the right side of the pinafore and here is the right side of the band. So I'll place the two notches right side facing so that I can sew on the wrong side. So here is the notch and here is the notch, and I am sewing towards the wrong side. While doing this, you want to be careful to make sure that the whole thing is going smoothly so that it will not twist at the end of the day. So I'll take this to my sewing machine to sew. With this, the front pinafore band is balanced on the upper part of the outfit. After sewing the band, I have this. Remember to iron interfacing on your band, very important. So let me turn the inside out, and when you turn the inside out, you should have something as neat as this. So this is what I have. This is the first pieces of the band on the pinafore dress already. So I'll go ahead and attach the second pieces of the band. That's quite simple. So this is the inside of the dress, and here is the second pieces. Please iron interfacing on it. This is the wrong side, here is the right side. So place it wrong side facing the wrong side of the already sewn band. Place it from the end and just sew round from the outer edge all the way to the other edge. So after turning the band, I have this. So I actually close up the side and then took it to the ironing table and also gave it a good press. Here is the inner part and here is the outer part. So so far the project is turning out as planned. So beautiful. So let me take it back to the sewing machine, hold the two band with a stitch and then work on the gathered skirt. The total length of the dress is 24 inches. The upper part, I already have 10 inches at the upper part. So if I subtract 10 from 24 inches, I'll be having 12 inches left. So the lower part fabric is actually supposed to be 12 inches, but here I have about 15 inches, and that's because I'll be folding the lower hem with at least 1 inch and be joining the upper hem with at least half inch. At the end of the day, we'll be having around 12.5 or thereabout left as the lower length. And then the width of the fabric is about 110 inches. That is just 3 years plus or thereabout. So it's on 4-fold. If I open it up, you see how long it is. It is very, very, very long. So it's about 110 inches. The first thing I'll be doing with this fabric is to take it to my machine and then fold the hem. That's the first thing to do, is to fold the hem. After folding the hem, I'll run the ruffles and gather it before attaching it to the upper part. After creating the ruffles, I have this. This is the lower part of the dress, that is the gathered part. So as you can see, I've turned in the hem and I've also gathered the waist area. So the waistline, this is the upper part. The waistline of the upper part is 25 inches. So after measuring the 25 inches, also measure the gathered part of the lower skirt and ensure that you equally have the same width. And after that, it is safe to join the upper part with the lower part. So here is the wrong side of the upper part, and here is the right side, here is the right side, this is the wrong side. So I'll place the right side on the right side and sew the lower part on the upper part. So I'll take this to my sewing machine now and sew. So after attaching the lower part to the upper part, the dress is ready. So this is the inside and here is the outside. The baby girl dress is ready and the baby girl is ready to slay. So if you want it fuller than this, go ahead, cut a lining of about 50 inches or 60 inches to at least 20 inches length, and also gather it and attach to it to make it fuller, after which you fix your zipper at the back. So this is the back, this is where you run the zipper through. So at the back, go ahead and sew your zipper. This will be all for this tutorial. If you want to join our Kiddies Casual online class, send me a message on WhatsApp to get the details. So thanks for staying with me and see you in my next class.